we'll tell our tour manager, like, you're not getting us any water, you're just getting cheese, right? And he's like, yeah, Greg. And I'm like, no. You're just getting cheese, right?
By PRS Guitars.
Well, we met on the first day of college, like a lot of bands I think might have, and I kind of thought, one way to make friends is to bring your guitar around. Maybe it was just brainwashed from all the TV sitcoms that I'd seen, but I figured if I walk down the hall with my guitar, it's a good start. And across the hall in our freshman dorm was Jeremy, just getting funky with it. And I jumped right in, and we started playing music and making songs like first day we've ever met.
We were playing back freshman year of college, we still do this just for fun, but there was not even a trace of thought like, oh, this could be something. It was just, us goofing off and having a good time.
Get back at the end of the night and write some songs about grilled cheese or whatever is, on the mind at the end of the night. And hopefully the songs have gotten better over the years, but it's always been for fun. It still is.
Me and one of our college roommates, we started this club, the Maryland Music Business Society. And our faculty champion was a huge PRS collector. And ever since we met him, he would always show me pictures and tell me about his PRS guitars. And when I finally got my first PRS, I was like beyond stoked. He took me in our class. I don't know if you were there or not, but he took our class, like this music management fellows class, to the PRS experience in 2 years in college. And it was by far one of the coolest experiences I had in college.
Not a bad field trip.
No, best field trip ever.
Again, the PR mind says every single venue is my favorite venue to play, and it is. I really do love to play. I mean, having said that, we've played the Capitol Theater in New York, which is just historic and incredible. And even before that, when we first played the 930 Club in DC, it was just such a big deal for us because when we were in college, we would take the Metro in and take the Green Line and see all the shows at 930 Club. That was like the mecca for the Mid-Atlantic kind of jam scene and live music scene, and we'd seen so many shows there. So when we first started playing that venue, it was just kind of like a full circle dream come true, like pinch yourself when you're walking in.
I was actually an intern there in 2008, and I never thought, I was always like, man, it'd be so cool to play at 930 Club. And then we got to open for a band there in like 2013 and 2014. We played our first big CD release show there. And it was unbelievable, surreal experience for me and the whole band. And I think still to the day, 930 Club would be one of our favorite venues.
6 hours, was it? About that time at Tripp's Farm in West Virginia?
Yeah, I think
5 or 6 hours.
6, it could have been 7.
Once you get past 4 hours, it really gets hard to pin down how long it was. But we played a music festival, and it was in the ballpark of a quarter of a day.
Yeah. I think it was like 1 in the morning to like 7 or 8 a.m.
Yeah.
When I think of weird gigs, like there's always one gig that comes to mind immediately. FetFest.
Oh, gosh. So when was that? 2011 or something like that?
Sometime in the range 2011 to 2014.
And that was in Maryland, right?
Yeah.
We played in Darlington, Maryland. We played a festival called FetFest, which was a fetish festival. So it's hard to explain what we saw.
I don't want to talk about it.
I don't know what rating this video is because I could explain some things we saw, but it's not. If you're up for it and you have a good stomach, go check out FetFest. I am a wah man till I die. I mean, we're a funk band, so I have a handful of pedals, but all I need is the wah and a DE7 delay, an analog delay. And we don't have a keyboardist, so I kind of am in charge of filling that mid-range, filling the sound out, and using a little delay and some wah sweeps can replicate a lot of different sounds, and that's kind of become my style. And almost every other guitarist besides me is like our big overdrive guys, but I play clean, I play with the wah, and that's really all I need.
And for me, I'd have to say my two like crucial pedals would be a tube screamer, overdrive, and then a tap tempo digital delay. Cheese.
We're big cheese fans, and we don't like to hide it. When we go to Wisconsin, we don't get anything else but cheese, and we'll tell our tour manager, like, you're not getting us any water, you're just getting cheese, right? And he's like, yeah, Greg. And I'm like, no, you're just getting cheese, right?
We're big cheddar fans. Cheddar is better.
It's crazy in Vermont, Vermont and Wisconsin, 10 or 15 year cheddar is just creamier than most. I mean, we just had a Gouda that was the creamiest cheese ever in Philly.
Yeah, Philly.
It was just sublime. We do eat cheese before shows. We eat cheese after shows. That is true.
Water.
I warm up my voice every time, and some of my, some bands we'll play with, there's a small green room, they'll just hear me in the corner just singing by myself, and years later they'll be like, I remember the first time I met you, I barely knew you, and you walk by me just singing, blasting vocals, and wow, I guess I should warm up before shows. Yeah. Our drummer stretches a lot, our bassist does yoga, and we just pretty much write the set list down to the wire.
Sometimes, if there's a song in the set list you haven't played in a few weeks or whatever, you got to make sure you remember how to play the song.
Yep, remembering how to play the songs is crucial. I've found over the years.
Yeah.
Number one, Jeremy Schoen taught me most of my guitar playing. Taught me how to be funky, and he also showed me a handful of my other influences now later in life. We're big Fish fans. We appreciate the magnitude of their shows and their free-flowing improvisation. They also just keep it fresh. You never quite know what you're going to get. We love Soul Live and anything Eric Krasno touches, really. He's a phenomenal PRS player, too. Yeah. I grew up with Stevie Wonder and, classic rock. But you had more of the punk ska background for starters.
Definitely listened to a lot of different music over the course of my life. Jazz has always been a huge influence for me, and then was deep into the punk, hardcore, and ska world. Then got deep into Fish and the jam band world, and the only thing consistent has been jazz. So, I always listen to a lot of Miles Davis, a lot of John Scofield, but I mean, Hendrix is always a huge influence, even though I haven't taken the time to learn a ton of his songs. It just, the way he plays with such raw energy, and he's not afraid of playing a wrong, weird note, or if the note's not perfect, it doesn't really matter, because the amount of energy he's putting into each one of those notes is just unmatched.
I would write a song with John Mayer, and we could share the same guitar. That'd be great. He's a really talented songwriter and lyricist, and his phrasing and his feel is top tier. I think everyone kind of knows that, but he's also very passionate about his playing. There's not a lot of people who get lost in your guitar quite like John does. So I would love to write with him. If the Talking Heads got together, I'd sit in.
David Byrne.
David Byrne.
Yeah.
David, if you're listening.
Next level.
Hello.
I'd love to do any sort of collaboration with Jack from Wolfpack. I think that guy's a genius. I feel like we could come up with some really crazy stuff. Or he would just come up with something crazy and I would just watch.
Which always makes it easier when you're working with...
Yeah.
Oh.
Airplane mode, sure. Oh, that's an alarm.
Hey, John. Oh, yeah, you heard? How's Thursday? Yeah, I got the Silver Sky right here. It's pretty good. Yeah. All right. Kisses. Man.
The best part for us, as producers and performers at the festival, getting to play. That seals the whole weekend. It's we work so hard, 9 months out of the year to build up the festival. When we finally get to get on stage and play for all the fans, that brings it all home. Pigeons Playing Ping Pong. No.
Pigeons Playing Ping Pong and PRS, man.
Yeah.